New TNO submod. Who this? This is the New Order So Far From Home. It's essentially a submod that gives content to France, and we will be playing as the Gaulle himself. Far from home. He is stuck in Africa. But who knows, maybe we can change that up. A free France once and for all. I don't know how much the content this mod has, but we'll go through it. I'm sure it's quite interesting. After World War I, representatives from the victorious nations such as Britain, France, and America gathered in the hearts of Europe, Paris, ready to tear the world apart again for their own interests. France had paid a heavy price in the war, but did not receive the compensation she deserved. Although the then French Prime Minister Clemenceau strongly advocated for the dismemberment of Germany at this conference, intending to once and for all deal with the biggest wolf beside France for 50 years. However, due to strong opposition from Britain and the United States to the French hegemonic policy at the conference, the so-called strict treaty became virtually meaningless. Okay, this is pretty much the lore before. I think I'm not gonna read this. I know how TNO works, more or less. I don't need this, although it's been a while since I played this. There's meme content. There's an easy mode, extreme mode. I think I'll just go for the normal mode, right? And maybe one day in the future I will do meme content for this. First off, hooray. I mean, they said easy mode, but we got national power outages, so that's not great. So Far From Home. Wait, it's the title of the movie. As the Nazis' iron tides trampled Paris, the Third French Republic reached its destined end. But the children of France did not yield. General de Gaulle re-raised the banners of resistance in Africa, and thus began the Free French Resistance movement. However, lofty ideals often meet harsh realities. Free France's situation was tougher than imagined. No resources, no weapons, no equipment, no bitches. Only the OFN and Brazil were willing to show support, but none of this could deter the children of the Cross of Lorraine. Although we were driven from our homeland by Vichy traitors, we will be back. Even our research is atrocious. What the hell, man? Can we even do anything? What is this? Difficulty. Switch to Cake Joy Avatar. No. Mysterious Note. We get lewd pics. Let's hide the miscellaneous. Yeah. It scares me. Let's fix our economy maybe a little bit, huh? 21 years had passed from the steel rain on the beaches of Dakar to the surrender documents at the Governor General's palace in Algiers. From the roses beneath the Arc of Triomphe to the gunpowder-scented pre-monsoon wind blowing outside the window, the Gaul gazed at the scratches on his metal reflected in the glass. That liberation cross reflecting the moonlight of over 2 decades ago onto tonight's coffee stains. We will steal Vichy France's so-called dawn. What have they stolen now? Moldy sheet music of La Marseille in a foxhole, rusted tank wreckage in Dakar port. We have nothing, but we will persevere. What the hell is this? Ooh, this affects unit stats. We got factions we need to deal with. We need to keep our stability over 30. Okay, for now we should be fine with that. I'll leave this be because I don't think we need to change anything just yet. Ganda we can unlock. Nice. That should hopefully help us out. Edgar stood up under the gaze of everyone. He looked at the Gaul and slowly said, "General, I believe you are aware of the current economic situation. The normalization of the national emergency state has severely affected the health of our economy. In my humble opinion, economic reform is now an arrow on the bowstring ready to be fired. The prevalence of Pan-Africanism in recent years cannot be resolved by a mere state of tension declaration on emergency intervention. And military intervention, rather. Our current armed forces need strengthening, meaning military reform is inevitable. If we rely on the strength of the Free Nations organization to return home, we will not gain the approval of the French people. Speaking of the Free Nations organization, our foreign policy with the friendly nations also needs to be reaffirmed. The support of other countries still needs to be earned by ourselves. Pompidou, what's your opinion? In my opinion, if we are to develop, we must develop industry. It also grows stronger through reform and construction. I agree with your opinions. All right, well, let's get to it. Let's contact Iberia. They can give me some money. I'll put it straight into paying off my debt. Let's get some guns and stuff from America as well. Where's my economy? There it is. Better than pay debt. Oh, damn, that's actually a lot. We're under $1 billion in expenditures now. You must be the envoy, Your Excellency. We all know Abidjan isn't the most pleasant place, so we're very grateful for your tireless journey here. To make more room, Massy leaned further in. Next, we will first have a brief tour of the Navy, followed by a reception dinner. General de Gaulle himself is very eager to meet Your Excellencies and discuss future cooperation. Oh, interesting. This cannot continue. He pushed aside the documents and picked up his pen. Before him was a letter of appeal to America. His pen tip paused at the address, Washington. He wanted to rephrase the sentence to make the request sound earnest, yet not subservient. But this was truly difficult. Only by breaking the blockade can we survive. These words would surely make Free France appear weak and powerless in front of the other party. But this was the reality of Free France, relying only on Liberia's intermittently disrupted supply lines. Free France might not even survive until next year. It's better to try than not at all. Indeed, we need to survive to get our claims back in France. Let's look around to slowly improve our industrial capabilities as well. Pedro abruptly woke up, pushing himself off the damn hardboard bed. It was just dawn, and a pale light barely seeped in. Moses was violently shaking him, his shouts thundering in his ears. Pedro, get your ass up. Something serious has happened. You son of a bitch. What kind of goddamn thing has to happen at this hour for you to wail like this? The room next door, the kerosene lamp suffocated everyone in there. What the hell? How did that happen? Oh, and this will give us energy. We do desperately need that. Why are you so energetic today? Besides, you can't see for night work, can you? What did you hear them say when you were moving Earth? Morse quickened his pace and replied. The construction site is connected to electricity now. There are big light bulbs to illuminate us, and we can listen to the radio when we go back. You're willing to work until it's pitch black, huh? The higher-ups want to do some construction these days, and our overtime pay is higher than day wages. These light bulbs on the site just got electricity too, so we'll have electricity and lights every day from now on. With that, under the reflection of the last sliver of twilight, a huge light switched on. The sun's out. Do we need any of this? Daily political power for 100 days, so that'll be 55 political power. Also, the stability and watchboard is going to be very handy. I'll click that. It'll pay for itself. Let's attempt to, industrialize, I guess, as well. I think, as much as it pains me, I need to click every single one I can. It's a bit expensive, but so be it. If you don't meet the production standards, or if you break anything, just wait and see, they stammered. After a long while, Pedro mumbled, Boss, actually we only know a little. In the concentration camps under the commissioner's jurisdiction, they only had been forced laborers operating German machine tools, and after escaping, they had long forgotten how to use them. Besides, machine tools are scarce here. We had no place to practice. The boss waved his hands. I don't care how much you know. If you know a little, you're on duty. Be careful. These are valuable American goods. He threw them an operation manual issued by the Americans and unceremoniously shoved the two into the workshop. Morse, this thing is more complicated than finding a woman. Damn it. We still have to live up to our bragging. At least we have an operation manual. They followed the manual, fumbling with each bundle and button and knob. Serially practicing on scrap material, the boss tacitly allowed. At first, the machine either wouldn't start dull or emitted harsh screeches, piling up mountains of waste products. Sweat and grease soaked the manual, but those complex instruction diagrams, the repeated failures and retries, truly allowed these two rough men to master it. Finally, on some unknown twilight day, when Pedro carefully inserted the code punched tape, and Morse held his breath and pressed the start button, the machine emitted a uniform, smooth, powerful hum. Did it really tame this American contraption? Probably, I guess. What are you staring at? The boss appeared at the doorway at some point, hands on his hip. Hurry up, the next batch of work pieces is waiting. Let's break our curse as well, improving our situation ever so slightly. And keep pressing all of these buttons whenever we can. It should, make us better. Do we go for the French ethno-state? I don't think so. I think we need to bridge the divide, right? We need to move away from a model that's more akin to the Großgermanisches Reich and, embrace the people that are living here because we are the vast, vast minority. We don't want to end up like some kind of South Africa. And also, instead of steady improvements, we will go one step further. It's going to be more expensive, but, liberté, égalité et fraternité. That is who we are, Good morning, Mr. Johnson. Nkolo greeted him politely. Good morning, please sit down. I heard you've made some discoveries a few months ago. Yes, we found a fairly large iron ore deposit. We've been mining this large vein all quarter. All right, this is your team's bonus distribution plan for that month. I'd like to hear your opinion. Nkolo took the document and read it carefully. I think the plan is fair, sir. but I feel like the bonus for third grade minors is a bit low. What do you think? Your suggestion is very reasonable, Nicolo. I will consider it. You are a competent captain, always able to consider the interests of others. Nicolo was surprised. He hadn't expected the boss to praise him like that. Thank you, sir. Just did what I should do. By the way, I have one more thing I want to discuss with you. The company plans to start a new project, and it requires some experienced miners. I hope you can lead your team and help me out. I'd be honored, sir. My team and I will give it our all. Then it's settled, Nicolo. I look forward to working with you. Things are turning around. We've done the economic part, now let's probably fix up our army a little bit, or resistance movements, maybe the natives. And there we go, the final decision here. Research facilities will improve. Toddling gains modifier. After completing the national policy, looking around, we will unlock propaganda resolution. Never forget the World War. Okay, that's good at least. Radio waves to the homeland. Is it gonna give us points? I don't know. I hope so. We will embark to a diplomatic mission to other West African nations. I think we do need that. Because eventually there will be a war brewing. We need to have every advantage we can get. Intelligence documents lay scattered on the table. Photos of Pan-African Union forces massing on the Cameroonian border. Anti-French slogans on the streets of Accra, Ghana's capital. The top secret letters at the corners soaked in coffee. Diplomatic pressure is immense at this stage. We're isolated. 30 years ago, we were here, ruling them. Moulin suddenly spoke, his voice hoarse. Now these new nations are uniting to turn us into fragments adrift on the sea. No more hope. Moulin's voice suddenly became extraordinarily calm. We must take initiative to de-escalate relations. Oh, I think we got points. Let's keep pressing this, because it's only 25% chance that we don't get points. Although the Germans had conducted several bombing raids yesterday, thanks to the emergency repairs by the Engineer Corps, the Abidjan airport runway remained as flat as when it was first built. Jacques, what do you think those Brazilians will say? Those South Americans want us to give up Guyana just to do business with us. If only we had more strength now, I'd definitely make them spit out that land to me. Mr. President, even with 100,000 troops, we couldn't protect beyond Africa. Besides, what difference does Guyana make? Guyana for the entire OFN? Anyone would be willing to make that trade. I know, but I just can't stand it. Before, the OFN abandoned us in West Africa, and now they come scurrying back, wanting to reconcile with us. Let's pay off debt a little bit, because it's not looking too good right now. Restore old military ranks, special promotion rights, cancel cultural examinations. Gaston softly recite the clauses, each word feeling like swallowing a piece of ice. The phone suddenly rang, and the Gaul's voice came through the static. They want us to compromise. The sound of a lighter opening and closing could be heard throughout the receiver. Sign it. Let these old fellows win around first. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what happens. Have you seen a mackerel on a grill, Monsieur Denville? I am that fish now, he gestured with his left hand. Those radicals are stoking the fire below, and the traditionalists are sprinkling chili powder on me. Hashim's expression was somewhat somber, tingled with helplessness. He picked up his teacup, took a small sip, then slowly continued. Monsieur Denville, you know, I was pushed into this position as if I was thrown onto a brazier of hot coals. Faced with the arguments from both sides, all I do every day is mediate. I understand how you feel, General, but you also know. Hashim interrupted Denville, saying urgently, Monsieur Denville, the problem within our army have reached an uncontrollable point. Factionalism is rampant, corruption spreads like wildfire, and there's duplicity everywhere. If this continues, the consequences will be unimaginable. I won't hide it from you. I need to carry out a military reform, so I need your government's support. Denville smiled with a hint of slyness. General, rest assured, I will faithfully report your requests to the government. However, the situation is complex and many things are not achieved overnight. We can offer some support, but you naturally understand nothing comes without a price. We send guns to the Yoruba land. Okay, fair enough. I will do that in a little bit. There we go. Now I will send guns and support equipment. You enjoy that? That way I get to keep it. The Guyana question. Yeah, Brazil wants us to give up this piece of land, right? I don't know if I want to. Weekly manpower? Ooh. Give me the GDP growth. Well, first there's the issue of former French Guyana. Due to hostile relations with Vichy France at the time, combined with the loss of contact with your government and other reasons, the OFN allocated former French colonies to different countries to administer. Among them, former French Guyana was travel. Oh, it's this one, I guess they mean. Stop, Jack impatiently interrupt them. Cut the chatter. What exactly does the government want? In short, the Brazilian government hopes your country will formally recognize the transfer of sovereignty over the territory That is, formally acknowledge that Cayenne is Brazilian territory and relinquish any sovereign claims over former French Guyana. This is blatant robbery. What's the use of being angry? We can't get those lands back. Instead of clinging on to a hollow reputation, it's better to acknowledge reality and gain some tangible benefits. Yeah, but what's the benefits? What will you give me in return? The next item on the agenda concerns the nationality of the residents of Cayenne. The situation is this, Mr. de Gaulle. Previously, most Cayenne residents held overseas citizen ID cards issued by your former government. But due to the special reasons mentioned earlier, the new generation of Cayenne residents born after 1946 can only hold Brazilian nationality, lacking French identity documents. To resolve this issue, our government proposes retaining the French identity of the original residents unchanged, while for residents born after 1946, a voluntary principle will be adopted, allowing them to choose between the retaining dual nationality or a single nationality. See, not many people recognize us. And you say the Guyanese there are loyal? The reality is right here. De Gaulle glared at Jacques disapprovingly and retorted, "Are you French or Brazilian? Why are you always defending them? Besides, who can guarantee the numbers of this worthless paper are real? Do you believe it is just because someone wrote 70%? There is also a more radical proposal, which is to directly implement a single nationality policy, making all residents Brazilian. This is not our official stance, but rather the proposition of some individuals domestically. Gentlemen, as you know, I am a man of principle, but I also know how to adapt to the circumstance. We respect their decision, I think. They still have the French legacy." Antonio could barely believe his ears. Was this still the aggressive de Gaulle he knew? Everyone else says they know how to adapt to the times. Can't you see that they want to ease the tensions? Hurry up and write it down. Only then did Antonio react. The old man, after more than 10 years of German bombing, seemed to have even his edges smoothed out. Antonio felt a touch of sadness. Antonio jotted down de Gaulle's words in his notebook, then turned to the last page of the documents. One last thing. Your esteemed nation must have heard that our country has some friction with the German Central African authorities these past few months. As a major power in West Africa, your country holds a crucial position, so we hope to strengthen military and economic cooperation with your country and to ensure the security and prosperity of both nations. De Gaulle looked at Joe, who seemed to hesitate, and prompted him to speak. "Sir, it is well known throughout the world that your country has a deep animosity towards Germany. Today, the Germans sailed fishing boats into the waters of free nations. Tomorrow, they might dare to sell aircraft carriers to our doorstep. We are now comrades on the same front. So what? So, I ask your nation to join forces with ours to suppress German morale. We can also help you curb the Pan-African momentum." Joe blurted out, "If your country agrees, we will surely provide strong support to your country's military, industry, and other fields in the future." Jack's hands trembled with excitement, but de Gaulle remained unmoved. Cooperation with Brazil had more benefits than drawbacks, but they could also receive OFN end, but at what cost? He had previously found a rare understanding with those people in Central Africa. No, let's full cooperation. We will drive back the German. Antonio and Joe let out a long sigh. They had finally secured an ally for Brazil and the OFN, though they didn't know how long it would last. It was better than nothing. Joe handed the paper documents to de Gaulle, who signed his name and returned them to Joe. Jack watched the Brazilians pack up, ready to leave. "Gentlemen, wait a moment." Jack turned back to see the old man pull out his own documents, and the premonition stirred within him. "Still have some things to discuss." Jack drew the curtains, returned to his seat, and looked meaningfully at the Brazilians. De Gaulle also straightened up, signaling for the people outside to close the door. Antonio sat down again, having already guessed what the Frenchman before him wanted. Jack projected the documents in his hands. The Brazilian and the OFN representative looked at the strings of deficits and various descriptions, along with the gruesome images on the charts, feeling a despair that they had never known. De Gaulle, too, kept his head bowed in contemplation as he looked at the slides. "Gentlemen, it is indeed unpleasant to look at these things, but every one of us here has to work, live, or worse, merely survive in this environment every day. The Excellencies earlier stated that they would help free France. What we ask for won't be much. Not enough to empty your country and OFN's coffers, but I still hope that everyone present, especially the OFN, can support our work as much as possible." "I understand that, but what kind of aid should we provide?" That's up to you. We can only openly provide humanitarian aid, supplies and funds. As for what they need, like weapons and industrial equipment, it depends on Brazil's stance. We can only provide some covert support. As you know, Nixon prioritized the Far East over West Africa. Ultimately, we are just a small nation now, but we are confident we can drive the Germans from our homeland. With your support, I can guarantee the honor of France that you will regain a powerful ally. The OFN representative shook his head and declined. Mr. Goal, on behalf of the OFN, I deeply regret to respectfully decline your country's request. You understand the reason we must continue to impact the Unities Agreement, but we will still support your country through various channels. In the future, when the time is right, the OFN will also consider negotiations for establishing diplomatic relations with your nation. Let's not get involved with this. What if the Germans get angry and the Central Africans refuse to negotiate with us? Oh, we can do it. We can do it. There we go, tropical icebreaker. I mean, it was 90% chance. Are you mad? Joe abruptly stood up, shouting fiercely, his voice echoing through the conference room. Do you know what this means? Are we really going to break ties with the Nazis? Yes. Of course not. But they sacrificed so much for us. He paused, looking at the gradually awakening city. Their blood stained our lands. Their youth fell for our freedom. Just because they are not pawns of a superpower, does that mean that they don't deserve the right to fight alongside us? Don't deserve to establish diplomatic relations with us? What we must do is justice, not political calculations. The Goal almost immediately stood up, excitedly extending his hand to shake Antonio's firmly. His palms trembled slightly. A mix of excitement and long-awaited hope, the old man's persistence and courage showed him a brighter future. Jack also smiled, but he pulled out a ready-made pipe from his cuff, lit it as he exhaled the first puff of smoke. His expression showed a sigh of relief. A sense of relief. Okay. We did it. Diplomatic relations have been established with Brazil. Come to Brazil before we come to you. Oh, and the new part of a focus tree has been unlocked. Where's the OFN representative? Joe asked Antonio, who was chewing bread. What can Americans do? He went to sleep. Those damn Yankees only know how to butt in. If I weren't so good-tempered, I would have cursed him to the deaths by now. Tell me, these Frenchmen have been bombed here for over a decade and endured civil strife. They can still hold this place together. Is God helping them? There you go again. There's no such thing as a divine intervention. These people rely on themselves, Joe retorted. He glanced at the black man being scolded by his boss, then added, however, I think this place is now practicing segregation, just like the American South. Although they talk about equality, you can still see some people the discrimination and sense of superiority. If these white people truly want to fully utilize this land, they must generally treat these locals as equals. I mean, we'll get to that, man. We will incorporate the natives fully, at least that's what I'm hoping for, into our nation, and make sure everyone is considered French. All factions' satisfaction with us will increase by 3. Why would I not do this? Click this? Yeah, yeah. I should click this all the time then. Let's start the mobilization, 1,000 weekly manpower is going to be like 12,000 manpower in total increase, right? By the time that's done. We must become more powerful if we really want to stand up against someone else. Let's go with the 4-year plan as well, right? Develop it. The sooner we get to that, the better, right? Pierre was on horseback, supervising the black laborers. He was owner of his cocoa farm, or rather a white farmer, as registered by the government. His family had been in the Ivory Coast for almost 100 years, cultivating cocoa for generations and living a plain and uneventful life. However, things are unpredictable, and in recent years, many things Pierre didn't understand happened, slowly breaking his family's peace. Pierre disliked change, especially the recent changes among the black people. In the past, black people were willing to do the white man's burden, doing the hard, strenuous work that no one else wanted to do. Now, they were starting to demand more freedom and rights. This displeased Pierre. He sometimes even thought these natives were incapable of self-sufficiency, unable to manage their own land, and their so-called fight for civil rights, who would only bring chaos and violence. In the village bar, Pierre and other white men drank, and the conversation gradually turned to the recent native protests. You know what? A few days ago, those blacks in San Pedro went to the streets again to cause trouble. And then they were hosed down with high-pressure water cannons. These blacks, they just don't learn. How do these people understand what power and responsibility are? They only create chaos and destroy everything we have. Goddamn blacks. Give them a few sticks and they'll behave. Most of Pierre's friends had similar views for them. Black people were inferior. They recalled the past years. Life used to be like a golden age for them. Native workers as their farm railers, living quietly in their small communities, while white people controlled everything. Pierre fumed and only calmed down after returning from drinking and finding an opportunity to hit a few lazy black children. Seems like a great guy, huh? There we go. 4-year development plan. Currently, our industrialization... So to ensure smooth implementation of the Industrial Reconstruction Plan, Ministry of Finance 4 has provided us with an interesting solution. Centralized directives to meet the target for rapid industrialization, although these measures will retain our economic system with pink compared to survival and principle. So we're not allowed to have too much pink, whatever that means. Attract investors, acquire obsolete machines, rebuild roads, yeah. Do all of these things. Everything except for the scissors gap, I think. Because I don't like the thought of worsening our agriculture. Hamza finished nearly a day of exhausting work. He had been very tired since he and his friends started working at the factory last month. But the factory didn't want to give him or the workers any extra relaxation time, even though they were already working 14 hours. Today he encountered a white foreman who entrusted him to buy some things for him. And Hamza had no choice but to agree. He didn't want to lose the hard-earned job. Hamza goes into a queue where he has to wait, but ultimately he decides to stay. At first, he felt pretty good. He only took a half an hour to buy everything. But just as he was about to return and report back, a drunken white man saw Hamza and walked over. "Black man, did you hit him?" the officer asked indifferently, looking at the scene of the incident. "He hit me first. You dead black. Okay, hey, okay. Don't give me any bullshit." After hitting him, the officer proceeded to take all the money from Hamza's person, greedily looking at the money he had earned, not even noticing the white man. "For the sake of the money, I'll let you off this time. Anyway, I don't want to deal with you." Okay. Oh, I think we're a great nation right now, huh? As you can tell. We'll get some funding. Thank you very much. I will use it to pay off debt. We're down to only 50% debt to GDP. That's actually great. Frequency adjustment. What does that change though for us? Where's that? Oh, it's gone. Decision for the political PowerPoints. Oh, that increases that improves the unwavering resistance. That's great, actually. So we'll need to keep pressing that decision. Again! Actually, unwavering resistance will get fixed, but it's not completed yet, apparently. Where's the unwavering resistance? Not all the content has been made yet. Along an arduous road lies ahead. You know what? Let's do that, right? Along an arduous road. Is that a MF in China reference? You know how I feel about China. I love remaking China. I'm very excited for the new Hoi 4 DLC that'll be coming out sometime in the future. We will get more China content. Alone in the Hurricane focus will be completed. Nice. What does that do though? Oh. This will only be completed through events. Okay, fair enough. This should unlock us. Yeah, we have unlocked. Damn it. A lot of decisions. What is this? Comité Militaire? Grassroots military construction. Sure. What does that do? Dude, I got no idea. How do I increase any of this stuff? Let's try and improve ourselves, I guess. Somehow. A secret most formal invitation. Nice, I think. Army's organization increases. Yeah, I do want that. Because that'll improve us, right? The proposal has been approved. That's good. Morale increases and 25 political power. Free France completes Open Hearts, which is, I guess, yeah, the event thing in here. That's good. New proposals will be unlocked. We'll do that later. I kind of want to continue with our industrial focuses for a little while. Enhance soldier discipline, of course. Get some more liquid reserves, which allows us, well, first off, it'll allow us to pay off some of our debts again. Look at that, 46% debt to GDP, not bad. Step on the brakes again, yes. And then we'll have an emergency assembly. On General Motors, Shell Oil, I think I like the thought of Shell Oil Company. Well, you know what, no, Vale. We need resources in general anyway. We always do. There we go, for the final event has been completed. At 11 deep in the night, the goal convened in an emergency cabinet in the underground military headquarters in Abidjan. Must recognize the situation. This is a concentrated outburst on social contradictions. We can no longer respond to the demands of an era with high pressure and censorship. This is incitement. It's destruction, Charles retorted furiously. Those damn... They're willing to listen to Pan-African nonsense. They're rising up against us. You're wrong. They're not Pan-Africans. They're just hungry people. Forgotten soldiers, those we had overlooked before. I mean, the goal... You gotta cool it, man. Their dance of policies. And I did say I wanted to integrate the natives completely in us, so I do know which path I will go through. But right now we can't do this just yet. We'll need to wait for an event. Preemptively, I do want to meet with faction leaders. This will increase everyone's opinions of us. Let's improve company and platoon officer quality. Morale increase, professionalism increase, of course. Get the $500 million in liquid reserves as well. We're gonna put it straight into paying off our debts. Late night contemplations. Okay, there you go. The reforms are about to begin. The army will not tolerate radical reforms from us. Nor will Democrats and black people like us for being too conservative. Only a balanced middle path can allow the nation to go further. Ah, great. Okay, so I'll have to choose. I'll go for 2 democratic ones and 1 conservative one. We'll go for benevolence, reformative action, and then strict law. Wait, where's our billion? A half a billion. Oh no, wait, we haven't gotten it yet. Never mind. I got panicked for a little bit. Because I've heard of a bug in the past, but I don't know if it was ever fixed. Where if you don't spend your money before the month ticks over, it just gets lost to the ether. Even though it says it automatically uses money to repay debt. Anti-corruption in the military, please. There we go. Give me my goddamn money. Pay it off. We're down to 33%. Not bad at all. So when can we can't do this just yet, I guess. Yeah. Anti-corruption has been approved. But I think that is all the time I have left for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. We will continue on in the next episode probably, where we will hopefully reestablish democracy in our beautiful nation and one day even reclaim our rightful lands. Until then, bye-bye.